If you're not already subscribed to this YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button now, along with the bell icon so you can be notified whenever a new video is posted. And if you're already subscribed, check and make sure that YouTube hasn't unsubscribed you. And of course, be sure to give the video a like as well as share it on your social media. The white supremacists hate that. And now, the Sunday address. Before we begin, I want to take a few moments to send some good wishes to our sister Dee Tubman. As those of you who have been listening to me for some time are well aware of, Sister Tubman has been holding the candle for the family for a long time. And I hope that people will take out some time to let her know that we appreciate all the hard work that she's put in. Whenever we talk about the black media, we're not just talking about the people who are behind the microphones. Those are the mouthpieces. We're also talking about you. Each and every one of you in the sound of my voice, you are part of the black media. Each of us has a part to play in promoting the message of black empowerment. And Sister Tubman has been doing more than her part to make sure that the message is spread far and wide. So make sure to give a salute and a pat on the back to our Sister Tubman. I'm sure she'd appreciate it. All right, before we dive into the subject of this evening's address, you might feel like you need a shower afterwards. You've been warned. Oh boy, this is our tax dollars at work. You know, it's difficult to get a job working as an aide on Capitol Hill in any capacity. It's harder still to get a gig working for a U.S. senator. Most of the people who get these jobs are hoping to go into politics themselves. You got to be connected to get those jobs. You can't just apply for it. You got to be somebody who knows the senator personally, can put in the good word, that kind of thing. These jobs are rare and hard to get, but apparently not hard enough, because recently a Senate staffer who worked for Democratic Senator Ben Cardin's office decided to make a video of himself in the Senate hearing room having sex with another man. I can't show you the images, of course, because the video would be immediately age restricted, which the racists at YouTube are probably going to do anyway. But it's the kind of ridiculous nonsense you would expect from someone with no better sense than to do something like this. Now, the video came to light because it wound up in the clutches of Tucker Carlson's Daily Caller website. It's not clear how Tucker Carlson's website got a hold of it. Only 2 people knew about it, the 2 individuals involved in this vomitous crap. So one of the 2 must have been the individual who leaked it. Now, this Senate staffer, or in this case, former Senate staffer's name, is Aide Charopsky. He's an immigrant, and he's got one hell of a resume problem now, but that's okay. He's on his LinkedIn page trying to play the victim and threatening legal action against, well, anyone who characterizes his actions as anything other than loving his job, according to him. Given that he's been fired, he ought to be talking about it in the past tense. He loved his job, but apparently he couldn't have loved it too much to pull a stunt like this. Now, for some strange reason, this incident has not been getting the kind of attention that it deserves. You haven't had any of the broadcast media decide to do anything with it. Oh, it's been mentioned on a few local outlets, but the big ones, they're steering clear of this one. Now, you would think that this kind of man bites dog story would be right up their alley, but they don't like it. Now, who wouldn't want to cover a story about sex on Capitol Hill, especially something as lurid and raunchy as this? Apparently, the white media doesn't. And just to show, though, that people are aware of the situation, George Santos posted a reply to Charopsky's online LinkedIn threat saying, having sex in a United States government building and filming it is the reason you got heat. You being gay and having gay sex, nobody gives a rat's. Now, you know a situation's messed up when the most dishonest man in D.C. has a point. It's like living in opposite land. And for this guy to try to play the victim after what he's done is pitiful. Now, we can all chalk this crap up to a number of different factors. The current era we live in, where people will do absolutely anything to get clout or clicks, or because the culture is so pornified that people will try to get their sex on video anywhere, they don't care where. Sex has gone from an intimate personal act to a quick way for thoughts to gain relevance, or as a putrid type of performance art. Sex is now just another form of self-expression meant for public consumption, and in a world where it's all been done before, it's only predictable that you'll have a lot of people trying to find a new place where it hasn't been done, just for the novelty. But as disgraceful as this is, it will be allowed to fall down the memory hole. Hell, it's already begun its descent. Now, had this been a black staffer who had been responsible for this behavior, it would be the lead on all the Sunday shows. And whatever senator that staffer worked for would be told they have to resign. And all the talk would be about black culture. And the white media would be showing videos of black women twerking, or of LGBT black men running around in thongs in the grocery store, or WAP, and they would tie it directly to black people as a group and to black culture in specific. It would be the lead on Fox News. It would be in all of the white media papers. But it's not. The white media is saying that the Capitol Hill police has vowed to investigate, but that's pretty much where this story is being allowed to end. It's already being shoved down the memory hole, stomped in there tight. I, for one, expect that this moron Charopsky is going to start a podcast at some point, or otherwise try to parlay all this into, well, something. The clout chasing never ends. All right, you are fair to ask me, so what the hell's any of this prurient nonsense got to do with us? The comments on YouTube and on Twitter have been filled with Democratic shills trying to sell us the soap, telling us that we have to vote for the Democrats, while attacking us for demanding anything for our vote. There's a major election coming up in less than a year. Democracy hangs in the balance, or so we're told. Now, with all that going on, the Democratic senator who this guy works for hasn't offered us anything. There's that old saying about the sergeant sets the tone for his men. The reason that this staffer felt like he could do something like this is because this is the environment up there. One big frat house. This was the expression of a value system that was displayed. This young moron was considered to be the best that this senator could get, and he hired him because he thought that this guy would fit in. That tells you a lot. Some of you are telling black people that we have to keep these guys in power because they're better than the alternative. Alternative to what? I think this Charopsky guy was showing us exactly what's going on behind the scenes, how much they care about what they're supposed to be doing for black people. They don't care at all. Typically, whenever there's a big scandal like this, the first move is to try to change the headlines. Nothing's being done here, however, because they already know they don't have to. Andrew Gillum comes to mind when I saw this, only without the political consequences. There's more focus on trying to keep a lid on this than there is on doing right by us, and that's how you know nothing is on the ballot next year except the same old, same old. Someone does something like this, it's because they've been led to believe that they've got some sort of special dispensation. And why would that be? Well, it's because when you support a political party, you're supporting more than just some politicians getting a paycheck. You're supporting a value system. And nowhere am I seeing tangibles for black people being prioritized. And no, I don't want anyone telling me, oh, you can't take the actions of this young, dumb idiot and his moronic display of stupidity and say that somehow that should reflect on the political party he works for. Are you listening to yourself? When something like this happens, this is a direct reflection on the political party. Now, this doesn't mean that black people should be going to vote for somebody else, but the Democrats have to understand they're asking black people to vote for them. And that being the case, black people are only exercising common sense when we ask exactly what and whom are we voting for. This, I think, sheds a big light on a number of things that we've been seeing from the Democratic Party, a number of initiatives and policies that they have been promoting. While black people have been left out in the cold, they've been pushing all sorts of other things. Public displays of all kinds of sexuality. And this is what feeds directly into this kind of behavior. What this idiot didn't just come to him in a spontaneous moment. This is something that he felt encouraged to do, as if he had cover to do so. As if he felt that the entire reason he's supposed to be on Capitol Hill is to push some kind of envelope. Apparently that's what he thinks that he's supposed to be there for. And if people are shocked and surprised, well, we keep this stuff private unless it's not, but you need to look the other way, and if you don't, there'll be legal consequences. This is what this guy is saying. He's going to be exploring legal options about people who say things regarding what he did that he doesn't like. I mean, instead of saying, you know what, that was stupid, what the hell was I thinking, I am very sorry, I've disgraced myself, etc. Instead, this guy's trying to double down on it, digging his heels. And the reason for that, of course, is you cannot separate the public policy statements of a political party away from what their staffers and the people who are in the party actually do. You cannot separate the two. Now, if there's been big support for all of these things that take sexuality and put them into the public square, why is it that there's absolutely no support for black people whatsoever when it comes to doing things tangible for us? It's because this is more important to them than black people's votes. This is not to say that the Republicans deserve our consideration. They don't. They're not offering us anything. They're not even reaching out to us. But if the Democrats are going to at least put forward the talking point that they want black votes and that they're reaching out to us, then my question becomes, reaching out to us with what and for what purpose? What exactly is it that they're trying to prioritize? I look at this kind of behavior and the first thing that comes to my mind is he didn't just do this on a lark. This guy decided that he was going to be doing this because this is what's talked about behind closed doors. This is the kind of thing that he felt that he had a special dispensation to pursue. Somehow somebody might say that this is inclusiveness somehow, and this is what he took inclusiveness to mean. That anything goes. And the first thing that's going to go is going to be common decency and self-respect. The ability to look at the Senate chamber at least as being a place where you don't exactly drop trow and try to get it on, but this is what's happening. For the folks who keep castigating us and attacking us in comment sections, attacking us on social media, and telling us that as black folks we have an obligation to go to the polls, no matter what we may think of the candidates, what you're telling us is that we should vote to make sure people like this continue to have jobs. Because the truth of the matter is he's not the only one. He's just the only one that we found out about. Well, that might be good enough for these shills and bootlicks out here, but it's not good enough for us. This is what the Democratic Party is offering. Unbridled libertinism for some people, but absolutely nothing for black people. I think I'll pass. Because if you're really so hot and bothered about safeguarding democracy, and if you're really so concerned about the dignity of the United States Congress and Senate, then you ought to be up in arms about this. But of course, from both parties, words like decency and public integrity, these are nothing more than just buzzwords. They're empty slogans that are meant to appeal to mushy-headed people who don't think very much and who words can easily woo. Fortunately, that's not us. But this is what's going on in the Democratic Party and the Republican Party too, to be sure. People doing sex acts in the Senate hearing room, all kinds of public degeneracy. I guess this is what they mean when they say, join the party. Good evening, and be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors. Sister D. Tubman, Chevalier Foster, Kadir Abdul Salam, Malcolm, and Quincy X. Salute to them and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because of you.